GMC is a brand that really kind of sees itself as being engaged in a lot of people's lives and in their work lives. And so we thought this would be a great way to highlight just how versatile and how practical our vehicles are, while at the same time being part of this wonderful story.
General Motors is just one of the many partners that work with Habitat for Humanity. And while they appreciate corporate sponsorship, it's really the volunteers that help keep the organization running. I'm now joined by a longtime volunteer for Habitat for Humanity, Mike Will. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Believe me, it's my pleasure.
Well, this is such a great program. We all know about it. You're one of those dedicated volunteers. Tell me a little bit about how you got involved and why.
Back in the mid-90s, my church, All Saints Catholic, decided to sign up and fund one house. 20 years later, we're still doing it. And I decided, my wife and I talked, that it was about time that I go out and do something for someone besides writing a check, putting some money in a basket. So I was a walk-on volunteer the first year. And it didn't take me long to realize that as much fun as I was having on the build, because I love those kind of things, everybody's having a great time, I directed my focus to the homeowners. And I started to understand what this really meant to them. It wasn't about me and the volunteers building a house. It was about developing a home for a family. And that's where I spent my concentration the next couple of years. And then one day, one of the house leaders asked me if I wouldn't become a, quote, volunteer skilled supervisor and work on other homes throughout the years. I did that, and what happened was that Habitat gave me the opportunity to make a difference. Me, like every other volunteer that comes out on a Saturday, whether you come out one day a year or 50 days a year, you made an important difference in a family's life. And for me, I take away more personally than I've ever given them. It's made my family stronger because we're all committed to this. And after all these years, what you see is, you see the results. You see the kids that you built for and the families 18 years ago now graduate from high school, trade school. 2 I know of just graduated from college. And this may never have happened without Habitat for Humanity. So it's been a blessing for everybody across the board.
One thing you mentioned, you see the results.
Yes.
The impact.
Yes.
Which is so meaningful. How many years have you been doing this?
It's going on 20 years now.
So you are a long time volunteer.
And I've seen families that we built for in 1995 and 1996 and 2003, and we still have people to keep up with them. And so I see the results. They're hard, clear, and defined.
Give me an idea how many other volunteers there are and what you all are able to do as a group here in the Atlanta area.
Well, if you think about it, we may have 5, 6, 7 houses going on at a time. 45 to 50 volunteers are coming to every single house. You've got 130,000 hours are being volunteered by almost 15,000 volunteers throughout the year. It's just totally amazing. And what's really important to understand is that every one of those volunteers is happy to be there. They're happy to get up at 6:30 in the morning. They're happy to stand in the rain. And then it's sunshine, whatever, the inclement weather, they're happy to be there because we all have the same goal. It's a very unique community, and if you've never been a part of it, I urge someone to give us just one day a year, and you'll see you can make a difference.
I'm sure you have many favorite stories over the years with this volunteering work that you've done. What would you say your favorite story is as a volunteer?
Well, besides all the avalanche of tears on dedication days, that goes without saying, but a couple quick ones. When a homeowner invites you to their home for a Christmas party so she can introduce my wife and I to her family and relatives to thank us, that's truly amazing. When Virginia made handcrafted figurines for all the volunteers on dedication day, fired them, painted them, I still have them on my mantle at home. But then there was Rosalind. Rosalind, we built for around 2003, and she said up front, do not call me Roz, do not call me Rosalind. Call me the happy homeowner because that's what I am. And she was just driven to succeed and of course has. But at the end of the build, day 7, she said to me, Mike, I want to have all the volunteers over for a barbecue. And I said, you can't do that. Well, she narrowed it down to 20. We went there on a Saturday night and stayed to the wee hours, and had a great time. So they're priceless.
You know, I've got chill bumps. I mean, these are really touching stories. Thank you so much for all your service over the years and what you're doing for so many families in this community. Thanks for joining us, Mike Will.
My pleasure.
Coming up next, we're talking to some volunteers, of course, and a couple who were the recipients of a Habitat home. Why they say the organization changed their lives. Coming up.